All right, hello, friends. I have been immersing myself in the work of the great Mark Stavish lately. I've just been reading all of his books and devouring his course materials. One thing that he shared recently is something that I want to share with all of you because it has been a very useful reminder in my life. I want to share useful reminders for your lives, right? That's what this is all about. This is not the first time I've come across this concept, but it was a great reminder, and it was the first time that I've seen it framed in quite the way that Mark frames it. There was a great on the Joe Rogan Experience. Duncan Trussell went on this monologue about this general concept from a slightly different frame, but still it was a very interesting monologue that he went on. So that was a good one too. But anyway, so what Mark said is the devil is distraction, right? He did not mean it lightly, right? Like the writing, it does not mean that lightly, although it sounds maybe kind of trite and like a turn of phrase to be clever. But that wasn't the actual point. The point is that on this earth, on this life, in this life, we have this chance to maximize our potential in who we are, to be the best human beings that we could be. Whatever that is. That will be different for all people because we all have different gifts, right? We all have different weaknesses, different strengths, and just a different trajectory, different course through life. So it will be different for all people. But the general idea is that we need to be the fullest expressions of ourselves, our best selves, which I feel is it. That's like the whole enchilada, man. That's what we're here for. Now, when you say that, I've seen people, I guess, somewhat understandably say, well, that sounds narcissistic. That's what you think you're here for, just for yourself. But you're missing the point. Because when you are your best self, you are your best self for your friends, for your family, for your community, for the world, and for God. Whatever your God may be. I'm not, whatever your particular bent is. And so, by saying that the whole enchilada is to be my best self and to be the fullest expression of who I am, that's not narcissistic. It's saying that it's actually your gift to the world. Because from there, all of your gifts can emanate. You know, if you create financial abundance, then you can help people financially. If you create emotional abundance, then you can be there for your friends and family, and you can make their lives better. If you do the best job you possibly can at work, or if you're a freelancer, an entrepreneur, whatever it is, whether it's your coworkers, your clients, your customers, whatever, by being your best in that role, you are improving all of their lives, right? And so it starts with you, but it emanates out to everybody else. And by narrowing your focus on being your best self, which is about what we're about to get into, you have a much better chance of succeeding. Because as you start to expand your attempts to influence the outside world, your power diminishes, and it eventually gets to a point where you're completely powerless, which is essentially the concept that I want to talk about today. And this is going to be a brief one. This is just a friendly reminder for all of you, my friends out there. Okay, so if that is the whole enchilada, that is why we were here, right? Then the forces that take us away from it can be conceptualized or could literally be. Depends on your perception of reality and what you believe, you know, whether you're a materialist or a animist or whatever, a deist, whatever it is. It's going to be slightly different. But the concept is always essentially the same. Is that the things that take you away from being your best self, it's the devil, right? It's either literally the devil, or if you're a materialist type, then you could look at it as a concept, right? But either way, this is a very, I find this very useful because we tend to try to think of the devil and of evil as these big things, right? Like the big baddies, the murder and the just wanton destruction and all of those things. But it's finer than that. It's trickier than that. It's more subtle than that. Because it's also the things that take you away from being your best self, right? Which could be very little things. And we all have to deal with different ones. But the one I really want to talk about today, And the reason why I want to talk about it is because of the times that we're living in right now, right? We're living in some pretty wild times. There's a lot of uncertainty, and it's very easy to get pulled away to all of these things that are happening around the world, around the country. Just all of these things that you can't really affect, right? And you're always being bombarded with these things. Like, whoa, did you see what happened here? Did you see what happened here? Did you see what happened here? And we end up becoming lost in these jungles of distractions. And it's really kind of preposterous. It is preposterous because the jungle changes, but your being lost in the jungle remains the same. Like, what were the things that 6 months ago you were being bombarded with? What was the jungle of distractions then? What's the jungle of distractions now? And through that, what has remained the same is you just being lost in the center of this jungle. We're not able to affect these things. We're not able to take meaningful action. And my comments should not. I am not a politically apathetic person. I'm not an apathetic person in general. My point is not that, it's all screwed and just so just give up and let it go. That's not my point. My point is looking at where we can actually have influence and the things that we can actually take action on, and then blocking the rest of it out. And I think it's a useful conception. And if you're somebody like me who has certain metaphysical beliefs, I believe that it can literally be true that this force called the devil is distracting us from our purpose. But again, you don't have to be from that mindset. You could be from a materialist mindset and just use this as a useful mental tool, as a mental device. Either way, our attention is constantly being pulled away by things that we cannot control, right? And it leaves us, if you allow it to, it can leave you powerless in your own life, but also powerless for the world. That's the thing. Your powerlessness is kind of a form of selfishness, because it is a form of selfishness. I'm softening the terms because I don't want people to feel like I'm attacking them, but it is. If you're sitting there obsessing over some giant thing that you have no control over and that you can't possibly control, then all you're doing is you're just rolling around in the mud. And I don't exactly know what the appeal of. If I really sat down and thought about it, I could probably discern why that seems to appeal to some people and why it has appealed to me at various points in my life. Like as I always try to say, I'm just another guy in the trenches with everybody else. I'm just trying to get through, trying to do the best that I can in this world. I never want to come across sounding like I'm preaching to people or lecturing to people, because Lord knows I've rolled in the mud. There's actually been probably pretty good chunks of time in my life where I spent too much time rolling in the mud of this pointless distraction, of these things that I can't possibly affect. And so, but it goes beyond simply annoyance and distraction if you accept the fact, this idea that you are a divine expression, right? Like your life matters in a very significant and real way. Now, if that is true, right, and I believe that it is, all of our consciousness, every individual piece, every one of us, our individual consciousness is significant on a scale that I think we probably can't fully comprehend. But also, you could just narrow it down to your community, your friends, your family. They need us to be our best selves, man. They need us. They need us to be focused on the things that we can control. And I'm being as healthy as we can be, as being productive as we can be, not in a shallow, stupid sense, but meaningfully productive, to be as grounded and as happy as we can be. Not happy in a trite and shallow way. Happy in a way that allows us to have the emotional energy to be the best person that we can be for the people around us. All of these things, these matter. These very powerfully matter. And the devil is the stuff that comes up and pulls you away from your own purpose, from your own whatever your goals are, on every level, material, health, wealth, spiritual, psychological, all of these things, right? The devil is that thing that is trying to pull you away. It's the distraction that's trying to prevent you from being your best self, because you being your best self is the most powerful thing you can do for the good, right? And for the benefit of the whole thing, the whole human ecosystem. And so I personally, with my metaphysical leanings, I believe it's literally true. And I've been thinking about this since Mark framed it that way. And the interesting thing is, it's not the way Mark framed it. It's just that he's the first person who I ever saw come right out and say, like, no, that's literally the devil. Like, that's the devil, man. And, it's like I've played with that a little bit, like, conceptually in the past. I've seen other people play with it conceptually in the past. But, like, Mark comes out and actually says it. Like, no, literally, dude. The devil is the distraction. And so I've just been thinking about that, and I was like, you know what? I think that's right. It's the thing that it pulls away from your power, pulls away from your personal power, and it makes you a useless small person who is just flailing at the world and just swinging at air, man. You're just an exhausted boxer late in the 12th round swinging at air, while the devil's sitting there doing the ollie shuffle, kind of smirking at you. It's no good, man. It's no good. And in these times, I just wanted to throw that out as a reminder. I think I might make this video again where I actually sit down and write out a script to it. I think I need to start doing that more often, because I feel like these impromptu videos that I make, they end up being way too rambling. But that's the reminder that I wanted to share. I hope that it was useful for all of you. It's been very useful for me. The last couple of weeks, I have been thinking about this, and I'm resisting the devil, man. Not letting the devil get in here, man. I'm not letting it. And I have been more productive, healthy. I've been learning, just reading a lot of all kinds of things. I'm studying like technical subjects, but also studying Mark Stavish's work. More esoteric, spiritual type stuff. Anyway, the point is, I've been focusing on blocking out those distractions, on resisting the devil. Get behind thee. Get behind me, Satan. You will not distract me today. You will not distract me today. I hope this is a useful reminder, friends. Like I said, I think I'm going to write out this script because I just get to rambling on these things, man. It's kind of embarrassing, but I need to get this video out there. This needs to be done. I need to get back into the swing of this, getting settled in to this new home, and ready to start getting back on this video thing. All right. Peace out, my friends. In all seriousness, the devil is distraction. It's keeping you from being your best self. And you not being your best self means that your friends and your family, your community, your country, and the world is missing out, right? They need us to be the best people that we can be. They really do. The world needs more people being the best people that they can be. That's a fact. But you could even take that away. You need you to be the best person that you could be, right? That's how I feel about it. And that's about it. Peace out, my friends. Bye.